Hello and welcome to season number 5 of the Join Dota League. This is Division 2 of the European side of the tournament, and it's going to be a best of 2 series between BeneD plus 5 and XPC Romania. I'm GrandisV, and I'll be joined by Mikelorus for this cast.
Yeah, hopefully it is going to be a good one. Right now, they're pretty evenly matched up, I would say. I think they're actually completely even as far as their records are concerned. So hopefully it's not going to be continued like that because we don't want any more ties in JDL5. But the safe money is on, a tie.
Yeah, I think so. If there is any slant, I'd say XPC, just because of the teams that they've been
hmm
beating as of late. Coming fresh off of a 2-0 off of Vega.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment. And they also do have, well, actually, both sides have a couple stand-ins on their side. Arise, notable name for XPC, and he's very much so a mercenary for these teams. And well, eventually, I'm sure he'll find some team to stick with, but that won't be today. Regardless, looking at the bans, we have a rather early Chen and Shadow Fiend ban. Usually, those two are more usually allowed to get through, and then Axe is the one to be banned out. But sometimes it just is switched up. We have an Axe pick and a Shadow Fiend ban.
Yeah, more or less. Nothing really out of the ordinary here in the first couple picks of this game, and I don't really expect anything strange from either of these teams. For BeneD plus 5, they'll probably set their sights on some form or fashion of support. Vengeful Spirits in the pool, and I don't think you can go wrong with that, especially on the dire side.
You grab that for some minus armor, and you could maybe get a little bit more down the line, like a dazzle or something, if you really want to. Maybe not up against an axe, but the strategies are certainly there. Whenever you do open with the Vengeful Spirit, it's usually a safe progression from there on out. They could do that, or they could grab a lion, but I've actually become pretty partial to the Vengeful Bat Rider opening. It just is so safe, and it gives you initiation, which is what you usually want to have on your side.
Yeah, just tools to start fights on your own terms. Outside of the ordinary, as far as what's actually new, Phantom Lancer has been added, but scratch that, it's going to be a sniper first pick for BeneD plus 5.
Okay, so Sniper is a little bit more strange. We've been seeing a lot more priority being placed on Clockwork nowadays. Similar reasons to the Bat Rider. You just want to have some form of initiation on your team. The matchup looks like it's going to be a Clockwork versus Axe, and even though Clockwork is decent versus melee heroes, Axe is the king, and you don't mess with the king.
Definitely not. It is going to somewhat secure the sniper pick, having the Clockwork on your own side, not having to deal with Clockwork's hookshotting into you. But then again, you also have a potential Bat Rider coming out from XBC. They already have an axe to jump on top of this sniper, and it's not going to be the easiest of games for him. We'll just have to see how BeneD plus 5 utilize the hero.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they decide to give him safe lane farm. And I've actually seen a team before ignore shrapnel until a little bit later. Not really sure if that's what you want to be doing. Most of the cases, I'm pretty sure it's not. But mid lane sniper getting shrapnel, and if BeneD plus 5 grabs someone like an Earthshaker, which seems to be a pretty standard follow up pick after the sniper, then they could put a lot of pressure over towards the mid lane of XPC. Currently, we don't know who that is, but hell, even if it's someone like a Queen of Pain who could usually get out of those dangerous situations, she will most likely be able to live, but she'll be taking a lot of damage. And then once Assassinate comes up, then she is no longer as safe.
Vengeful Spirit, talked about earlier, is going to be picked up for XPC or Romania, going to offer them some nice amount of minus armor and just all around a really solid hero. Swapping the sniper out of position can be really annoying, and worst case scenario, if Venge is nearby when somebody gets hookshotted in, maybe you can swap the Venge's life for the core who's currently trapped.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best case scenario for XPC. If let's say they're Medusa, if they pick a Medusa, gets hookshot in, gets trapped in the cogs, then Vengeful Spirit will be there to bail them out. Get a little bit of extra minor synergy with the minus armor axe physical damage. I'm not too sure how relevant that's going to be, but it is certainly there. And well, it's just pretty much counter initiation from the XPC side. And as far as counter initiation is concerned, Vengeful Spirit, from a support rather, it pretty much doesn't get any better. So XPC going for a very safe opening, whereas for BeneD plus 5, it's still decently safe. However, this sniper pick, we really have to see who it's going to be matched up against in lane.
Yeah, I think that is kind of the X factor. We're going to see the Skywrath Mage banned out. Although they do have a defensive swap to get out of Mystic Flare, it is a really sick combo with the Clockwork, pretty much ensuring that you're able to get a kill onto somebody if you're able to connect with those spells. So definitely warranting the ban.
Yeah, and B5 still are looking for, two supports. So I'm pretty sure XPC are going to give a little bit of hate towards all the supports in the pool. you obviously can't ban them all out, but XPC only looking for one will probably reserve like a witch doctor or something for themselves, something along those lines. So yeah, double ban from supports I would expect from XPC, and they'll maybe just ban out the witch doctor right now. For BeneD though, they're gonna get rid of the brewmaster. That is a little bit strange. I would have thought they would have kept him in, mostly because he's a decent lane matchup for Sniper, but maybe they're expecting Sniper to go into the safe lane, or maybe they're preparing to send Sniper to the safe lane.
Potentially. Even so, it would be really annoying for them to deal with the Brewmaster. Right now, they just don't have the lockdown to actually stop him from getting off that split, and Drunken Haze is going to be really annoying for Sniper, especially come the mid game. Even though you can somewhat work around it with headshots, it's still a pain.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult hero to deal with. And if you ban him out just because you don't really want to bother dealing with him, then I think that's justifiable. It's very similar to the Slark ban that we see right now. It's just too annoying. Like they have Axe, they have Venture Spirit, they can grab a Lion, but it's at a certain point just too much work to deal with them. So might as well just kick him out. Io also going to be the ban out from BeneD +5. Maybe preparing themselves for a bristleback or something like that from XPC, which would actually be pretty sick if they decided to grab that combination, but no longer. We'll see what BeneD +5 want to grab. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a support hero, and it is going to be that Witch Doctor.
Yeah, similar to Skywrath Mage, benefits very heavily from having a single hero isolated away from the rest of them with the Hookshot Cogs combination, with the Death Word. In a similar vein, can pretty much ensure that you get kills every time you have those two spells off of cooldown.
I think guaranteed kills sounds pretty good to me. So, Witch Doctor as one of the supports for BeneD +5, and maybe they could even go for a melee support as their second. Just having a sniper as a core gives you a little bit of lane control, just being a ranged hero. You can afford to weaken your lanes a little bit, grab an Omni Knight even if you really want to. But XPC, they are going to have a mid lane sniper matchup on their hands, most likely. Maybe they're going to look towards a Puck, just someone to follow up with the Axe to jump in.
Yeah, that could be very nice for him, but instead they're going to go for the Zeus, and although he doesn't have that much control, he makes up for that by just having a truckload of damage. If they can get close to the sniper, at least close enough for a bolt, and the ult coming out from the Zeus, this lineup for BeneD +5 just aren't very well equipped to deal with the farm Zeus.
Yeah, that is, of course, assuming that Zeus is going to go towards the mid lane. We've been seeing a couple of support Zeuses from time to time, and it's been working out okay. But right now, I think it's safe to assume that Zeus is going to go towards the mid lane, is going to be at the mercy of the sniper if sniper is his lane opponent with the increased range on the sniper. But Zeus at a certain point, once he gets level 3-ish, Bolt will just be able to lay into the sniper, and it will not be a fun lane for the sniper. It'll be much better for the Viper if that's the lane matchup.
Yeah, and it very well could be. Between the Viper and the Sniper, both of them very well equipped to deal with the mid lane, but I think they'll probably prioritize the Sniper's farm and just leave Viper in a 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, Viper's probably stronger there anyway, just because Viper just takes less damage from these bolts. But XPC grabbing the Queen of Pain now will kind of slide that Zeus a little bit more towards that support role. And Queen of Pain versus Sniper or Viper would be decent enough for both sides. BeneD +5 need a little bit more crowd control, as right now they are kind of lacking, just the Clockwork and Witch Doctor doing it, and even then the CC that they have is far from reliable. So now having to deal with the Queen of Pain, they have the initiation edge already. They just need someone with the stuns, and maybe Sand King Shaker territory is where they're heading.
Yeah, I think that would be more than reasonable for them to pick up just anything to keep these heroes in place more than anything. For BeneD +5, we'll have to see what the ban out's going to be from them. There are a couple different ways that XPC could shuffle around these heroes. Offlane Axe, mid Zeus, safe lane farming Quap. These could be our three cores, but then again, as you've already alluded to, there could be a support Zeus on their hands. If they want to go for it, that's not a terrible choice, and it is going to be BeneD +5 banning out the Spectre.
So at BeneD +5, definitely scared of this possibility of support Zeus, and really just gotta get rid of that last core. I think I might actually like what you are suggesting a little bit better. Maybe it's because I just don't like support Zeus that much. Maybe it's just because I feel like that what you said is a little bit safer. But yeah, I'm kind of always on the fence with support Zeus, and it might get some value, but you really need the right lane to be aggressive or aggressively defensive if you're trying to defend someone like a Medusa or a Spectre.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. If it is just a solo Clockwork up against them, I think they could pull off the support Zeus, although it would be somewhat risky. If Zeus gets isolated, he is wet paper to the Clockwork, and Battery Assault will make quick work of him. It's going to be a Shaker ban Outlast from XPC, so no big surprises there. If they want to go for it, the Sand King's available. It really just depends on what they want to snag up. I think anything with a stun really could work well for BeneD +5.
Even grabbing your Rubik, there's a lot of magical damage on XPC's side, and well, there aren't usually many support heroes that are able to withstand that. You got to get those either tanky strength hero support heroes, which are, they have their whole set of weaknesses, or you just go for the Sand King. Okay, I mean, I don't think anyone should be surprised about that. They have so much lane control that they could afford to grab another melee hero in a support role.
Yeah, definitely so. And if left alone to his own devices, Sand King's going to be coming out with a very fast Blink Dagger and another way that BeneD +5 can start fights, which is really important for them. Last pick for XPC is going to be a Phantom Assassin, so it looks like it's going to be a support Zeus after all.
So that could be decent enough. You could even consider sending the Phantom Assassin towards the mid lane if you really want to run that, but just getting guaranteed farm for the PA should be decent enough. Has got to play a little bit carefully around the clockwork, as if she gets a little bit too overeager, then Battery Salt Cogs can very quickly slay a Phantom Assassin. But this PA, she'll probably have to go for BKB, and that's just what she has to do. But she has so much time in this game to decide when and where she wants to jump in, just because she has an Axe of Queen of Pain, both of whom will have those blinks and will be able to blink in first.
Yeah, definitely. So it's an interesting matchup between the carries, Sniper and PA. Although Sniper does have headshot to somewhat avoid the blur coming out from the PA, just having those gap closers is very useful up against the Sniper. So we'll just have to see how that all plays out. But all things considered, I quite like XPC's lineup. I think that as long as they get enough levels on these two supports, they'll be in for a great time. To introduce their lineup, Synergy is going to be playing on the Axe, currently heading towards the off lane, followed by Zizu on the Zeus. Mid lane, it looks like a Rise is going to be taking the Phantom Assassin. In bottom lane, Queen of Pain, played by Keanu, and Vengeful Spirit by Razvan.
Yeah, a little bit of intelligence I got from the last game I cast from XPC. It's actually Razvan, which is I don't know what language it is, but someone in chat said it, and no one disagreed, so I think it's Razvan.
I would assume Romanian, since it's XPC.
Hey, man, you never know. They're also running with stand-ins. The previous XPC side, turns into London Conspiracy, and they're not from England. You don't know about these things, man. It's impossible to tell. But anyway, on the BeneD +5 side, we got Robert G playing the support Sand King. Smoke already in his inventory. TDS is going to be playing the Viper. Mackie is on the Witch Doctor. We got Tabushka playing the Sniper. Looks like he might be heading towards mid and over towards bottom lane. Nemiranos is going to be playing the Clockwork.
We'll just have to see how the contention for the bounty runes is going to pan out, but it looks like both have been at the very least spotted by Dire Observer Wards, keeping control over both of those areas, but it looks like top is the place to be, as both teams are rocking with 3 heroes up here. It looks like they want to secure for the Viper, BeneD +5, but might actually have a skirmish. Synergy is going to walk into all 3, but they're not attacking this Axe, but Viper isolated away from his team, and be taking a lot of damage. Burrow Strike over through 2 coming out from the Sand King, as Viper dropping low. 1 more dagger from the Phantom Assassin, 1 more auto attack from the Zeus. 1 uphill mess, and DDS, he's surviving at least for now, as Zizu needs a little bit more mana. It's actually going to be Axe to get the first blood drawn, as the Sand King and Witch Doctor secure that one. Will the Viper even die? He will eventually drop down, but now Zizu, completely out of position, is not going to get chased down, at least for now. The sport's looking for the wraparound. Sand King does have level 1 the Burrow Strike, but the range on that not particularly good, and it looks like, at least for now, Zizu's going to be fine.
Oh, he's going to get his clarity canceled. That actually stings quite a bit for a support Zeus, but he got first blood, or no, he got a kill, so he can't be too unhappy with how that went, but still, like, there's a 25% chance that you don't get that kill immediately, and Zizu just wasn't lucky with those rolls, so ended up being Axe giving up first blood instead of the Zeus drawing first blood, which could spell such a different game. Like, even with the Phantom Assassin daggers there, going for Viper level 1, it's not really the easiest thing to do, so XPC, they get a kill in the end, but still, maybe it could have gone a little bit better if they decided to go for, like, the Witch Doctor or something like that.
Yeah, if the Witch Doctor was in a spot, definitely would have been the case. In fact, it's going to be a jungling Axe and just a straight-up offlane Zeus. It is going to be very difficult for Zizu to stay alive, but as long as he keeps his distance, he'll be able to get a decent amount of experience. But at least for now, lane is under the tower of the Dire side, and they're able to run pulling operations with the Sand King. So for now, he's actually getting nothing. Forced all the way back to base.
Yeah, so then over towards the other lanes, Queen of Pain is going to be going up against the Clockwork, and that's not a good matchup for the Clock. His kill potential is close to 0, if not exactly 0, and Queen of Pain's kill potential, though pretty low right now, is going to skyrocket once he gets a couple more levels, especially with an Axe potentially being able to help out from the jungle. The Queen of Pain being towards the bottom lane is going to shove the PA towards mid, and versus a Sniper, that matchup is actually not too terrible for the Phantom Assassin. mostly because she does have that Phantom Strike.
Yeah, and she is also going to be able to consistently get CS with Stifling Daggers. She's going to have the bottle to make sure that she's sustained throughout this lane, even though Sniper's really annoying now. Not going to be the worst. Dabushka is opting for the Shrapnel build. It's pretty standard. We currently have an Invis Axe in mid, looking for the call. Let's see if they catch out Dabushka.
Oh man, it doesn't get any better than this for XPC. Just play it cool, Arise. Don't let them know. There it is. Call with a whole bunch of creeps as well. Zeus is going to show up just to get a little bit of experience. That Sniper did not stand a chance. Invis Rune on an Axe is exactly what you want every single time.
Such an easy kill, too. It's going to mean that XPC are looking great in 2 out of the 3 lanes, and although the Zeus isn't showing his face up towards top, I think they're making up for it with the amount of farm that they're getting on the Axe through the jungle. He sacrifices a little bit of that with the rotation over 8th kill and Sniper, but definitely worthwhile.
And right now, the Sand King is actually not stacking up his jungle. If you're BeneD +5, it's so very obvious that there's no one on the other end of this top lane. So you would think that Witch Doctor and Sand King would just be in the jungle, just doing all the stacking, all the pulling, all that good stuff. But the Sand King is just leeching experience right now. He's not going to be able to accelerate really quickly into his Blink Dagger. He's doing fine. He got first blood, but still, he's not stacking, and that might end up biting them in the ass later on.
Yeah, I think so. At the very least, you'd want like a double stack in both of these camps over here. I think it is a bit of a missed opportunity. Zeus is going to show his face up towards top as Lane is starting to push back into him with 2 range creeps, so maybe, just maybe, sticking around is going to pay off for them if they can catch out this Zeus, but for now he's at arm's length and isn't really at any threat of dying. Witch Doctor is going to make those stacks.
Yeah, the Zeus has a very long range in the Arc Lightning, so he'll be able to snag last hits occasionally when he's up on the top lane, and also he has boots, so the Zeus will be able to keep himself very safe with the range that he has, just to leech a little bit of experience. Someone who might not be as safe is Nemiranos down the bottom lane. He's going to get jumped to the Shadow Strike. Queen of Pain completely out of mana, but there's a Magic Missile plus the minus armor. A couple more right clicks. One more, that'll do it, I think. Shadow Strike might get the kill. The Tango is working pretty well. I think he lives.
Well, place your bets now. He is going to survive on 19 HP. Clockwork going to make a close skate with death, but he is going to be able to make it back behind his tower and self up, but still his tower isn't going to be so lucky. Going to take quite a bit of damage with these range creeps and catapults at the ready. And Venge is sitting behind the tower, and Nemiranos needs to be careful. He eats a Magic Missile, and then Queen of Pain blinks onto him. If they had a little bit more mana, it could be a kill.
Yeah, but Razevan already just canceled a salve, and it doesn't really make too much of a difference. He already drank most of it, but still the Clockwork is going to be at a little bit less HP than he would really like to. Zeus got aggressive spawn up towards top lane. Looks like he just got a little bit too close to the Viper, but as long as the Witch Doctor is not in that lane, as long as Viper doesn't have like a phase boot or something like that, then Zeus will be able to TP out most of the time out of that situation. He's still level 4, and the alternative, him being a pure support, he wouldn't really be doing that much worse.
Yeah, I definitely think the status quo is looking pretty good for XPC. Even though they're giving free farm to a Viper, it's free farm on a Viper. It's not necessarily the scariest hero to just let sit. They need to do something with this BeneD +5, especially once the Blink Dagger comes out from their Sand King, which is going to be pretty darn quick, since he did get that first blood gold. Now he's clearing up a triple stack in the large camp.
Right, so he's well on his way, and XPC, they're not making any attempt at going towards this Sand King. They really can't do it easily. Like, I guess can if they really want to send their axe out of the jungle, but Arise over towards mid is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Already used the Phantom Strike. He's trying to bottle up in between this Shrapnel, and it looks like he will be able to slip away. Dabushka is level 6, but I guess he just wasn't level 6 when the PA was in danger.
Okay, so what happened there is that PA was fishing for the sniper, throwing out daggers every once in a while, got a crit, and then once she got the crit, blinks in, gets another crit and drops him low, but Zeus was just a little too far away to actually bolt him down. Then under the tower, PA needed to be careful. Rune's going to be secured either side, regen for Rise, so he's going to be back up at full and ready to sit around inside this lane a little bit longer, and Bounty Rune went down towards the bottom lane.
Alright, so PA drawing a regen rune after dropping fairly low is, pretty lucky if you are Arise right now. He's really wanting to go for the sniper right now. He does know that the Witch Doctor is around. I don't know if he knows the Sand King is here, though, and level 5 Sand King is a dangerous hero if you're the Phantom Assassin. She is going to die if she gets hit with any sort of crowd control right now in this mid lane, and she has to be so careful.
Well, for now, Arise is skating on the edge of death. Clockwork is also not looking too comfortable down towards bottom as his tower is taking a lot of heat, but at least for now, nothing's actually breaking out. Neither side has found an opening.
Well, I'm sure it's going to happen soon enough, like on either this mid lane or the bottom lane. As you said, the Viper is just free farming up towards the top lane, and they have to leave with this do something with this Viper eventually. Very similar to like getting a Bristleback in a solo lane. Like, yeah, you can just farm up endlessly with him, but you really don't want to. At a certain point, Viper is going to leave and contribute, and that point should be when he achieves his mech, which is going to be pretty fast.
Yeah, down towards bottom, Keanu going to get a tier 1 tower and TP all the way back to base. Queen Pain having a fine time, not exactly matching the Viper when it comes to CS, but since the Queen of Pain has mostly been left alone, is doing just fine for herself too. Right now, it's looks like we're just waiting for these Blink Daggers to come up, and well, it looks like Robert's going to get his right about now, so we'll see where this first Sand King gank ends up. He bought the smoke with his starting items, so he already has one prepped and ready to go.
And he's probably going to look towards the mid lane. The Phantom Assassin's both the easiest target to kill and the most important. So when those two align, then, well, you have yourself a clear target. Problem is that the Queen of Pain is right behind the PA, and right now BeneD +5 don't quite know about that. So running into a Phantom Assassin, expecting just a Phantom Assassin, but getting a Queen of Pain in addition, could be really, really bad, who, by the way, is packing a Sonic Wave. So Tabushka is still in a little bit of trouble, but it seems like this dance is not really leading into any death, which is actually kind of surprising. I would have expected someone would have died by now.
Well, looks like instead they're going to set their sights up towards top. The Blink Dagger is yet to arrive for Robert, but it looks like they might end up killing the Zeus. But again, Queen of Pain going to make her way up towards top. Keanu's waiting for them to make a jump onto somebody, and we'll have to see if the turn's going to be strong enough for them.
Alright, top lane, they're looking to wrap around. Zizu can take a Burst Strike, but it's also Kino in the area as well, lining up a Sonic Wave, going to connect onto 3. The problem is he doesn't have any more damage outside of this because he's out of mana, and the Voodoo Restoration is keeping everyone alive from the BeneD +5 side. Rise is going to arrive, chop down the Witch Doctor, but he already lost 3 allies, and now Rise is in a little bit of trouble as well. He's going to try to go for TDS, and looks like he will get the kill, but the Poison Attack should do him in. That's 4 kills for BeneD +5, and XPC just get 2. That was a good Sonic Wave, but they just ran out of gas straight after.
Yeah, and that pretty much sums it up. A really aggressive blink in from the Queen of Pain, and, well, if only they had an axe there with a Blink Dagger or something of this sort. Speaking of the axe, he's actually been caught out by the Clockwork over towards mid, while all of that action was happening in top. And it looks like Synergy is pretty much completely dead. He has an Assassinate on him, nothing he can do about it, and Battery Assault ticking. Looks like Synergy is going to be giving up his life to who is the question, though.
It really doesn't matter. I think what happened, I'm not sure, but the Clockwork has Hookshot on cooldown. I want to say Synergy had a TP canceled up towards the top lane. If you're XPC, you probably bring all guns to the top lane and expect a really big fight, but Synergy must have gotten that canceled, and either way, he's now completely screwed. I'm pretty sure the Assassinate, yeah, it's going to kill him. It just started the channel, so Synergy is doomed now. Boom, headshot. Sniper's going to draw that kill, and all of a sudden, everyone in XPC are dead. And, well, BeneD +5, they lose their Viper, but that mech coming in huge, and the level 3 Corrosive Skin also doing its work on the top lane.
It really was. Not exactly sure if XPC expected the Blink Dagger up for the Sand King either. Robert was able to hit quite a few nice burst strikes throughout that. Now clearing up, is ready to fight again if Zeus gets a little too comfortable in this top lane. It's going to be a while before he has both Epicenter and the stun, but then again, he is at the very least going to have that burst strike, which might just be enough. For now, the static field has canceled his clarity channeling, so he doesn't actually get much value there.
Well, with the Witch Doctor off to the sidelines, he really needs just that Blink Burst Strike, although Witch Doctor was really far away. They're going to throw the cask. TDS does not have a Viper Strike, but they get a double cask bounce. Zeus pops some lightning as final dying wish, but that was a little bit of a botched attempt by BeneD +5, but that bounce was just what they needed, and they get the kill anyway.
Yeah, definitely could have been a little bit cleaner, but in the end, they get the kill, and that's what matters. Clockwork Hookshot freshly coming off of cooldown, wants to hunt for the axe, and it looks like he's going to find him. Synergies is alone. He might be able to snipe these Tranquils. Hit the Tranquils, please! He is able to steal them, and now Cogs and Synergy couldn't have asked for a better initiation. Now he has the sniper behind him. He's going to be very dead. Looking for the dunk, can't even find it. Tabushka is going to lose his life in return. It looks like they're going to make it double. XPC is Clockwork trying to run away, bottling over through the trees. They do have a blink in from the Queen of Pain if they need to chase him out. Cog's going to bounce back one, but not both. But then again, Imorenios, he's going to need one more strike coming out from the Queen of Pain with the Zeus coming in from the sidelines. Looks like Clock is going to lose his life, but honestly, I think that's worth it. They get the axe kill while he's saving up for a blink and snipe his Tranquils.
Yeah, the 2-for-1 is not exactly what BeneD +5 we're looking for there, but even looking at this fight recap, it says, okay, well, you get plus 739 gold in XPC, but they just lost 1,000 gold on their axe, and those tranquils are important. He has to rebuy boots now just so he could get between his camps and actually do something in this game. So yeah, they slowed down the axe's blink dagger by a huge margin. I don't know if it's quite worth it for BeneD +5. Like, I don't know if that's a good trade for them, but it's definitely not a bad one as it looked like if you were in any other scenario.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I'm pretty sure that Tabushka could have just done with assassinating from long range and been just fine, so maybe they could have done that a little bit cleaner. But either way, BeneD +5 are still looking pretty comfortable. You have that blink, and now Arcane's up on the Sand King, and he's looking to be an absolute menace. You have Hookshot again for their clock, and they're ready to start some fights. They have the mech up for the Viper, and pretty much they're battle ready as a team.
And Viper just has to join the fray. Right now, he's just shoving the top lane as much as he can. With the rest of XPC, they're going to jump towards Tabushka, wasting no ultimates. They're going to, well, use the crit from Phantom Assassin, but Thunder God's Wrath and the Sonic Wave. Mikelorus is going to jump right in. Robert looking for a Burst Strike. He's only connect onto one. Soon as he's going to get the call into Mikelorus, he's probably going to get decapitated. He fails the culling. Now he's, no, he actually held it, and now he's going to get the kill. They're chasing after Robert at the exact same time. They'll kill off the Sand King, and Viper, arriving to the party a little bit too late to actually do anything with that mech, is still potentially in a little bit of trouble, actually. The mana situation for XPC not that high, but they have enough burst to kill off these heroes. That was not the fight that BeneD +5 were looking for. XPC, they went just all in very, very quickly on that sniper, and it worked out very well for them.
Yeah, it didn't see like BeneD +5 were really prepared for that. Viper was really late to the party. The Burst Strike only connected onto one. There was no Epicenter channeled previous, and without that, XPC are a lot more comfortable taking these fights. It really was just not what they wanted. At this point, the momentum's out of BeneD +5's side, and now it's XPC's turn to start picking up the slack. Synergy is going to be well on his way towards the Blink Dagger, and by no means is this a good Blink Dagger timing, but considering they just got his Tranquil sniped, it's a godsend that he's able to be involved in a couple of kills.
And it's the death of the sniper and the clockwork that just happened when they grabbed those tranquil boots that, well, kind of led up into this situation because, yeah, Synergy was going to be hurting if he didn't get something done, but XPC got, a huge set of plays over in the mid lane, got a whole bunch of kills, and suddenly the heroes that killed off the sniper and clockwork previously are going to be involved in another set of kills. Your axe is going to be hurting, but everyone else on XPC is going to be fine, and your axe isn't really hurting that much. He has his Blink Dagger more or less completed, so that snipe of the tranquil boots is usually going to be, game breaking for the axe, but just not in this particular time because XPC were able to rally and get a fight in.
Yeah. Well, for now, the game is going to slow down a little bit, but now that we have that fresh Blink Dagger up for Synergy, he's the one that's primed to make a play. Sniper going to push the tier 1 tower up towards top. With some supports behind him, he's more than safe doing this, especially since XPC have nobody committed there. Looks like both teams are pretty comfortable just to farm up, although potential fight brewing down towards bottom, but scratch that, it's going to be XPC. Going for Roshan. Arise has a double damage rune with the Helmet of Dominator. He can very easily take this one. It looks like BeneD +5 don't expect it at all.
Yeah, with Razevan also packing maxed out Wave of Terror, going to lower the armor of Roshan just a little bit more. It's just so easy for them to do this. I don't even think Arise needs the double damage rune to do this. It just helps out with the clearing. Hell, even Queen of Pain can jump in and help out if she really wants to, but this is going to be a free Aegis for Arise, and, well, that double damage is sometimes just what the doctor ordered. And, well, now Phantom Assassin, she can go ham on pretty much anyone she wants, and it'll be very difficult for BeneD +5 to kill her without wasting, all their CC on her.
Yeah, and then if you waste all the CC for the first life, second life is going to be that much harder to deal with, especially when you have all these defensive abilities coming out from XPC, or at least the ability to counter-initiate with a blink call coming out from the axe. It can get very sketchy. And, well, for now, XPC, it really feels like they're the ones with an advantage inside this game, just picking up a lot of momentum after the last couple of fights. They're going to set their sights on the sniper up top, but looking for a deep wraparound. Robert going to drop a ward. They instead jump onto the sniper. He's caught out completely alone. Tabushka's gone. I don't think there's anything that's going to save him. He's going to be cooled down.
Razevan has a haste, no, he has calling movement speed. He's going to put himself voluntarily in a corner. They're going to throw the ultimate and not help Razevan, who is going to get found out. Blink forward, though, by Synergy, going to get a call into 2. There's no creeps here, but the Phantom Assassin's going to arrive plus key with the ultimate. Mackey's going to channel the ultimate. He might get 1 kill. He'll get 2, actually. The Clockwork helping out there, but Key still has mana. He's going to blink forward for Robert. Mikelorus is going to be forced to use that hook shot very defensively. Arise, though, has arrived, has a dagger to throw, and it looks like it won't kill off the Sand King. Aimed it instead at the Clockwork. Epicenter not going to do too much either because he wasted a lot of those pulses. Sand King dropping very low. It looks like he'll be able to limp out of there. Overall, it's a 3 for 2, and XPC, they survive with the two heroes that they need to survive in that Phantom Assassin and the Queen of Pain.
Such an awkward fight, or way to open up a fight. Having the Viper as well as the Witch Doctor finding poor support over inside the trees, and then the axe blinks in, gets the cask bouncing between both of them, and everybody's just clumped up. Really messy, but yeah, as you said, XPC surviving the Queen of Pain, Phantom Assassin. At the end of the day, that's what really matters. That's going to be your Aghanim Scepter up for the Queen of Pain, 16 minutes in, which is pretty much backbreaking. And then you have a Rise working towards his BKB, still sitting on that Aegis.
Well, hopefully he won't die right now. 5 HP, cutting it a little bit close. Yeah, if he was a little bit more unlucky there, he could have just lost his Aegis, and we probably won't talk about that because it's just too embarrassing, but he's going to have his BKB, he's going to have his Aegis, and we already saw at the N+5, they were struggling to get through this axe. Their damage output right now just isn't high enough without an Epicenter landing or with everyone on their team there, and that Epicenter was far from inspirational. It wasted like 3 pulses, and then he burst struck in and got 1. That's not really what you want to do with that spell.
Smoke up coming from the Sand King, Clockwork, and Witch Doctor, and they find themselves a juicy Vengeful Spirit. This is going to be a pretty straightforward kill unless anybody comes to save her, and it looks like that's not going to be the case. Assassination from long range looks like it's going to get the kill or not. They will give it to the Viper, and, well, BeneD find a pretty easy pick-off. No ward was actually placed by the Venge either.
Well, so Vengeful Spirit going to go down. It did take pretty much all of BeneD+5, though, and it's nice to get the kill, but that's not really the kill that you want when you invest a smoke and you invest so many heroes. XPC, they're going to look to mirror what just happened with the rest of the heroes. The problem is Arise wasn't smoked up, and well, now the rest of the heroes are just awkwardly standing by. They're going to actually defend their top lane. Axe is teleporting back, and this could be a really bad fight for BeneD+5 if they stay too close to their creep wave.
We'll just have to see right now. BeneD+5 are very, very clumped up, but there's not an immediate angle, and for now they're going to spread out. Looks like the tower's going to be defended for the time being, but this tier 1 is probably as good as dead. But then again, tier 1 tower in mid is also going to be dropping at the same time. Phantom Assassin, I believe, is ready to TP in at a moment's notice.
Yeah, she'll be ready. Her Aegis is going to time out soon, though. She's going to TP in, but the tower's already dead. If she gets a dagger, there is a chance for a kill on someone. Do they really want to jump on the Viper? That might be a little bit too much, and they will decide to back off. They're going to send a couple of Zeus illusions to spot everything out, but the tower was destroyed, and they pulled out a TP, so BeneD+5 get away with a nice, clean victory.
Yeah, not really much else to talk about. In the end, it's going to be a tier 1 for tier 1 tower trade with no kills going either way. It's fairly even, but then again, when you're dealing with an Aegis on the enemy side, even is pretty good. Hookshot from long range catches out Arias. The Aegis is going to be down. Can he get out the second time? They still have Cogs, but Battery Assault is already halfway through. Cogs are going to bounce him back. Arise looking for the blink out, going to make it over towards the creeps, and now has an Axe behind him. Can they actually catch him out? Axe gets called into 2, but Assassinate from very short range. Queen of Pain ultimate over 3, going to drop them all low. The Witch Doctor channeling his ultimate over in the sidelines, kills off 1, but not enough. Both of the supports are down. Phantom Assassin is still looking pretty strong. Zeus going to throw out a couple more bolts to chase out Keanu. Going to be Battery Assaulted down. The right clicks coming in from Kavushka are going to be enough. Viper Strike thrown out, but they still fight into the Viper, trying to kill off Zizu. TP attempt coming up from Zeus, going to be denied by the Nether Toxin damage, and now Rise is in a whole heap of trouble with the Assassinate flying through. It's going to be a full 5-man wipe and a 2-for-5 exchange.
And Clockwork and the Viper just so tanky in that last engagement. Tabushka not taking the focus fire, and well, that's really what you want from XPC every single time, but the Queen of Pain can't really afford to do that. If she jumps into the Sniper, she blows her load, and then Sniper is most likely still alive and is able to turn things around if he has a little bit of help. So XPC, they could have had a good fight on their hands, even though it didn't really start off that great. Like, the call was kind of mediocre. The Phantom Assassin lost her Aegis first thing, and that's not what you really want. But they decide to focus their damage on the Clockwork and the Viper, and that's not really what you have to be doing. And at a certain point, they're not going to have much of a choice because Viper is actually at his Aghanim, so you kind of have to focus him or else you're just going to die. But not in that last fight. That was the wrong hero to focus down, and sometimes you don't have a choice, but man, when you have so many blinkers, you pretty much always have a little bit more selection.
Yeah, right now, that extra teamfight win is going to translate into a maelstrom up for the Sniper, and Ibushka is starting to hit pretty darn hard inside these fights, especially if he's not actually focused down. Zeus Ultimate looks like it was used for purely scouting purposes. It's going to catch eyes on the entire BeneD+5 lineup, and just that Zeus Ultimate is going to force them to play defensively for the next couple of seconds.
Yeah, so both sides should be okay with a little bit of defensive play. The Phantom Assassin really wants to get her BKB up. There's now a Force Staff up on the Axe. Nothing really substantial from the BeneD+5 side. as far as items are concerned, except for this Maelstrom pickup and the Aghanim Scepter I previously mentioned from the Viper. The rest of the heroes are pretty much going to be working with what they have for the upcoming minutes of the game, which is fine. But XPC, they're getting items that are, I would say, just a little bit scarier. Not too sure if this is an Aghanim Scepter game for Queen of Pain. It's an okay item, but I don't really know if it's the best one for this game. Regardless, what's done is done, and she'll be able to shove the wave, any wave, really quickly, really easily.
At the time she picked it up, I quite liked the item of choice for Keanu, but I'm not exactly sure if it's really done what they wanted it to. It was up at 60 minutes, and I thought they'd be able to take, like, 2 convincing fights off of that pickup, but just wasn't the case.
Well, they'll try to do something up towards the top lane. They have everyone there minus Arise, but BeneD +5 have everyone down on the bottom lane, so it looks like it's going to be a mirrored trade there. There are TPs on all of these heroes, so BeneD +5, if they mass TP, Sanking actually doesn't have one, so they can't make it an even trade. Maybe they're going to try to race, but man, I don't know if that's really what you want to be doing, because Arise is also shoving the mid lane.
Yeah, it doesn't look like either team really want to commit for anything further, but maybe BeneD +5 are going to try. They'll stick around with this lane. GDS is going to deny a creep, and it doesn't look like they're actually going to be able to make a convincing fight. XPC should have their full 5-man unit. We'll have to see how this starts. Over in the sidelines, Robert, as well as a Clockwork, are waiting to jump at a moment's notice.
And the tower is going to take a little bit of damage from BeneD +5, but nothing too substantial. They're going to smoke up and decide to leave the bottom lane, instead go for the Zeus, who is chilling and trying to D-ward. But little does he know that if he doesn't leave soon, that he might just die. Hookshot is available. Mikelorus is going to get vision, and there's a straight line. But no, the Sand King blinks in front. They get the burst strike anyway. That should be a kill, but Mikelorus not closing in for the Zeus. Now the Force Staff out. That was such an easy kill for BeneD +5, but they botched it really hard.
Yeah, just a little bit of miscommunication. If that hookshot lands, it would have been a very easy kill. Even without the Sand King, honestly, I think Mikelorus could have done that pretty much by himself. Zeus ultimate going to be spent. His fight's breaking out in mid with the BKB. Phantom Assassin going to town. Now on to Tabushka. It's going to crit down the sniper as well. Viper's still standing pretty darn strong, but now it's Queen of Pain and company all around, and Viper can't 1v4 this one. He's going to be chopped down by the axe.
Well, man, that's pretty much the time to go. You know the enemy side just used a little bit of their mana. You know they just used their hook shot from the Clockwork. You might as well make that jump in, and what a jump it was. Being able to land Sonic Wave onto 2, using your first BKB charge to get a 3 for 0. The Vengeful Spirit even had a pretty slick swap out to swap the axe in, so she got herself out of the fight. She got the axe right next to the Viper. Everything worked out very well there for XPC, and BeneD +5, they just didn't have any preparation for that. They were not prepared to fight at all in that area, and even if they were, that's not really a good spot to fight in.
Definitely not. Would have been a lot better if the Clockwork and Sand King were prepped, but yeah, after going for that previous skill, a nice opening found by XPC, and they'll find themselves a nice teamfight advantage. BKB is cooling down for Phantom Assassin, but with the double damage rune up, if PA finds any target to stick on, even if that target's Roshan, they're not going to be long for this world, and it looks like this double damage might transition to a very easy Rosh for XPC, although they will be fighting Roshan up against an Epicenter Growth Strike.
And a Clockwork hookshot. They're going to see it first because the Phantom Assassin does have a random satyr that she claimed, and well, he's now going to be a ward. And she does a double damage rune. Problem is that, well, BeneD +5 are a little bit more aware of the fact that Phantom Assassin can solo Roshan, so they'll be hanging around a little bit closer. Yet I still think with this double damage rune and the Sonic Wave up in the Queen of Pain, which is always going to be up, they probably can force a fight near Roshan. Well, maybe not now that they use their ultimate of Zeus, but definitely fighting in this area is dangerous for XPC. But with a double damage of Phantom Assassin, it could go so well for you if you just get a couple of lucky rolls.
Yeah, definitely so. Honestly, we'll have to see what the play is going to be for them. I would have liked to see them go for something aggressive, well, at the very least before this DD expires on Arise. Looks like they're going to have it for a fight mid, however, as they swap back the Viper into the Magic Missile. TDS is under this tier 1 tower, although it's not too healthy. Now onto the backlines. Arise is going to obliterate one. Hookshot comes through, cogs both, but then again the Sonic Wave flies through, and Mikelorus is dropping low. Synergy is going to lose his life, but it doesn't really feel like they can do anything about Arise. He's going to now focus into the Sand King. He's down. They look towards TDS. Arise is now going to be repelled as they have a Viper Strike, but they cancel a TP out from TDS with a Thunderbolt coming out from the Zeus, and Arise jumps back in. Double kill for the Zeus and a 2-for-4 trade.
Sniper somehow manages to escape from all of that, but Arise going to town with that double damage rune. I think I saw a 4-digit crit there. Don't exactly know what the numbers were, but oh, do these sword things tell me? Yeah, 1434 damage onto Maki. That is disgusting for 25 minutes of the game. Yeah, it had a DD rune associated with it, but still, you just got hit by a 1400 damage crit. That does not feel good. The Witch Doctor's going to be feeling that when he respawns, but still, XPC, they line up a decent call from the Axe. The Sonic Wave connects onto pretty much everyone, and they have a DD rune still on the Phantom Assassin. I think the tower was destroyed. Yeah, it was. So not everything going perfectly for XPC, but they're certainly making these fights happen at a remarkable pace.
Definitely so. Now they're going to set their sights onto Roshan. Epicenter has already been spent. BeneD +5 aren't in an immediate position to contest this, although they might be. Let's see. They'll Clockwork Flare inside the pit. Now they know it's going on. Arise needs to be careful and probably just needs to back off. He gets bashed by Roshan after the sniper assassinates him, but he'll be able to blink out safely. It looks like no fight's going to break out, at least yet.
See, if he had the double damage, then Roshan would be like at 1/8 of his health pool, and then you could probably fight it. If you're XPC, maybe this might be better since the Phantom Assassin is going to play it a little bit safer. BeneD +5, they have to worry about their top lane, which is slowly pushing in, but not really much else. Whenever this fight is going to happen, it's definitely going to happen around the Roshan pit, and both sides are pretty much prepared for this. Only Epicenter is needed on BeneD +5, and that's going to be up momentarily.
Right now, what's really scary is the Rise is just so hard to bring down. With BKB up, you're stuck trying to eat through a Phantom Assassin with 1500 HP and almost 30 armor with the Frost armor from the Ogre that she's dominated at the ready. Z's ultimate's going to scout out a smoke, and right now XPC know exactly what's up, and they might be able to actually catch BeneD +5 off guard, or at the very least in a position that they'll be comfortable fighting. They'll sit on the high ground and wait for the smoke to pop if it does at all.
Well, they're going to think about going towards mid. They're going to turn around. Clockwork has an angle. Burst Strike is going to be there, but Synergy makes the jump first. Sonic Wave through 2 as well. They're going to drop the Vengeful Spirit very quickly, but Arise is still in that BKB. He's charging forward. Very slow, though, because of the Viper Strike. Going to get right on top of Tabushka. Gets a bash plus a crit. A couple more hits, and that's going to be the death. But Robert comes in. Burst Strike onto 2. We'll save him for a little while longer. Plus Hookshot Arise. Suddenly in a little bit of trouble. Has a Phantom Strike, but he can't quite get it out in time. That's a 2-for-1 in favor of the BeneD +5 side, and I think that should just about be it. Pretty clean disengage from BeneD +5, and the Phantom Assassin plus the Queen of Pain moving a little bit too far without the help of their allies. Axe and Zeus, not really sure what happened to them, but they were not really with the rest of their team.
It does cost BeneD +5 a buyback on their Clockwork, but after that hookshot, making sure that they're able to kill off Arise more than pays for itself, and in the end, they're going to find themselves an advantage in that last exchange. Although this is going to stymie Clockwork's item progression, it wasn't really going anywhere to begin with, currently only with Treads bottled and the little items that count.
Maybe he'll get a Blade Mail eventually in this game, but right now he's just not getting much income. We have a Sand King with a Hood. That's a lot of money invested into an item that is probably going to be pretty decent to counter XPC, but I mean, it'll block a Scream of Pain and a Dagger. Zeus has a little bit of magic damage, but the Axe is purely physical, the Phantom Assassin is purely physical, even the Sonic Wave is pure, so this Hood is going to help out, but it's definitely not going to be an end-all for the Sand King. Maybe a Force Staff would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I think the extra mobility probably would have served him in a better fashion, especially when you're dealing with Zeus's static field. Canceling all those Blink Daggers is so darn easy for him, especially if he has the ultimate at the ready. It's really hard to find clean initiations.
Speaking of initiations, we might be seeing one up towards top where he is going to be spotted out. If he is spotted out, he just dies. There's a Thunder God's Wrath, so Queen of Pain knows exactly what sort of situation she's in. That was actually pretty lucky by her. If BeneD +5 just took a dip into the lane, they could have very easily killed off that Queen of Pain.
Yeah, a slight amount of hesitation is going to cost them that kill on the Queen of Pain. It might also cost them Roche. With all 5 heroes looking up towards top, Phantom Assassin's going to poke her head into the pit, but decide against it, it seems, as the Rise doesn't do it fast enough. They'll shrapnel inside the pit. Nemoranios is close, and actually inside the Roche pit, but for now, neither team are actually going to initiate or really do anything with it at all.
Roshan is living for a lot longer than I really thought he would. I thought a team would win a team fight and then grab the Aegis thereafter, but he's still alive, and he might be alive for a little while longer. XPC, they don't have their Queen of Pain with them in this fight, and that's really, really bad. They need this magic damage and the Sonic Wave, and they are perfectly spotted. Hookshot in, is going to catch 2. There's the Epicenter as well as Burst Strike onto 2. Those 2 supports are going to drop. Synergy off to the back line. Going to get a nice call, but really it's just him and Arise. They need this Queen of Pain here, but it's a little bit too late. because it's already just a 3v5. Arise still cleaving through everyone, gonna try to go for the sniper, but suddenly he's all alone. Sonic Wave through everyone, which is pretty nice, but is it enough? Arise still alive with that lifesteal, is getting a little bit of help now with the BKB up on the Queen of Pain, gonna try to kill off that Clockwork, will be successful in doing so. Has a blink out as well, gonna start man-fighting this Viper with an axe coming in, gonna call the Sand King out of that Sandstorm. He has a Burrow Strike available, he will launch it onto Key, who is going to die from this one most likely. It looks like that is going to be lethal, but the Zeus is going to revive plus Arise. This is going to be a complete team wipe in favor of XPC, but it did cost them a lot of buybacks to do so.
3 buybacks, in fact. Phantom Assassin, Axe, and Zeus all having to spend that extra gold. They're going to get Roche off of the back of it, but unless they're able to transition this into 2 tier 2s, it really feels like it's going to end up hurting them more than it helps. The experience change is pretty much negligible, but the gold swing is ending up going to be 2,000 in the favor of BeneD +5.
That could have been, for the most part, avoided if Queen of Pain was there a little bit earlier. By the time she arrived, so many of the XPC heroes were already dead. Yeah, XPC are going to have the Aegis for the next fight, but if that next fight doesn't go fantastic because of this Aegis, then they're going to be down a hell of a lot of gold, and BeneD +5, they don't spend any of their gold to buy back, I don't think. So it's going to be a potentially worth it buyback, but that will just depend on what happens in the next probably 30 to 40 seconds of this game.
Yeah, Arise going to find himself a Alpha Wolf to give him a little bit of extra damage for the next fight, or just as he's farming through the map. Currently critting at about 1,000 a pop, which is definitely nothing to shake a stick at. We have the BKB now up for the Viper as far as item progression for BeneD +5 is concerned, and it is going to make him a lot harder to bring down, especially when you're dealing with the damage coming out from the Zeus. But all things considered, it really feels like this is a pretty even game, and the graphs will reflect that as well. Currently, the advantage is about 3,000 in the favor of XPC when it comes to net worth. The experience is a lot more significant, but even that isn't unsurmountable.
Yeah, all of that could be pretty much nullified if BeneD +5 get better initiation, or whoever gets better initiation is probably going to nullify that experience lead, depending on who gets it, of course. Is if there's a good epicenter, if Viper's the one in front, if he's the one tanking everything, that all of XPC's lead will pretty much just go down to 0, and then it's really awkward from there. But XPC, they have to make sure that the way they fight is a lot more run and gun. They have all these blinkers. They have to make sure that they just don't get caught in the cogs in the epicenter, and they just can't afford to be kited.
Yeah, right now BeneD +5 going to start pushing down towards bottom is pretty much a full 5-man unit. They start out by laying out the sniper as bait, but that doesn't work out. Instead, they'll just muscle down this tier 2 tower, and it looks like they're going to be able to take it, at least for now. XPC do not have the Queen of Pain close, but she can TP in. Arise is going to be assassinated. He blinks forward onto the Viper, but just doesn't do enough damage. Arise is down. That's the Aegis. Is going to be coming back shortly. BKB popped up by Keanu. Has an ultimate, but doesn't find good angles on the backlines. They will be able to get the initiation, but then again, Arise is coming back in full force. 2 heroes down from BeneD +5. You'll Scepter up on the sniper as he flies through the air, dunk onto the, excuse me, Witch Doctor. They'll be, or Sand King, they'll be able to mop up one more. TDS getting crit down, now they'll be able to mop him up too. The sniper's still alive, but not for long as he gets called. And that's going to be the 5th and final kill as XPC trade 2 to 5.
Okay, so that Aegis was not really spectacular, but it ended up working pretty well for XPC anyway. So this fight, going so well for XPC, kind of justifies the last fight and their use of buybacks. If this one went for BeneD +5, then XPC would be so far behind in this game, but instead they are so very much ahead. The epicenter from Sand King, I actually have no idea what happened there. He blinked in with the epicenter, I mean, like, so I saw the pulses, and then he burrow struck into 2, and then the epicenter just stopped. So I can only assume he messed up his blink queuing on the epicenter, because though it was used, it didn't actually do any damage. It did like 100 damage or something like that. So the epicenter was really bad there from BeneD +5, and XPC, though their Aegis use wasn't that good, the fact that they, had the Sand King very easily brought down, they had people in the backline doing a whole bunch of damage. I mean, XPC, once again, just line up a much better fight, and in general, that's been the name of the game. BeneD +5, they're still hanging on in this game, but XPC, they've been taking good fight after good fight after good fight, and at a certain point, you just can't come back from that.
Arise is going to have a complete Abyssal Blade should he want to purchase it up, and a Scythe of Vice is coming in very shortly for the Queen of Pain. This hard lockdown is going to give even more ways for XPC to start fights on their own terms, and it's really scary. I mean, you have a Scotty on your sniper, but really it doesn't feel like Dabushka is going to be doing really enough inside these fights. At this point in the game, you're going to be hitting for, what is it, 177 a pop with Maelstrom procs. Up against XPC's lineup doesn't feel like it's enough.
And up against the Phantom Assassin, who is going to need 2 crits instead of just 1 to kill off the sniper. This Eye of Scotty is, once again, going to be dependent on the sniper getting perfect positioning. But Arise, since like the first fight when they let the sniper and Viper live, the Phantom Assassin has always been on top of the sniper, and that's exactly what she has to do. Like, first of all, Assassin is in her name, so it's kind of in the job description, but Sniper is doing the most damage. He is very easy to kill, and PA, who's currently critting about 1,000 versus the creeps, should be very capable of killing off this small little dwarf guy. So if Arise keeps on getting a free pass to get straight to the back lines and straight to the sniper, then I don't see these fights going well for BeneD +5 at all.
Definitely not. I really do like what XPC are doing with the Zeus ultimate. Being used as a supporting tool is incredibly nice, just to have a glimpse at where the enemy team is whenever you want to on a 90-second cooldown. And more than that, they also spot out a handful of wards with that last Zeus ultimate pop, so they should be made quick work of, or at the very least, they'll have the intel and they can mop those up whenever they get to that side of the map.
The sheep stick from Queen of Pain is ready to fight, but BeneD +5, they're ready to fight as well. They're going to try again. They have everything armed and ready. This time, they might run into Van once more, though. The Vengeful Spirit looks like she's going to be the one to be caught, if anyone. And yeah, she's going to see exactly what's going on. Shrapnel's going to wall her off from one side, but she will be found out eventually. Are they going to fight this? Keanu has an angle here for a Sonic Wave, is going to land it through everyone, and then straight blink out. Mech is going to nullify most of that damage, though. It's just going to be a Vengeful Spirit dying. Sonic Wave is going to be back up soon. And BeneD +5, they're going to keep on going. They've spent the pipe, which isn't going to do anything, actually, but they want this tower.
Yeah, although it's not necessarily the pickoff that they'd want, it's going to mean that they're fighting 4v5, and with Sonic Wave not available for the next couple of seconds, they'll at least feel comfortable to push into this tier 2 tower, and it looks like they're going to be able to take it. For now, they'll sit on the sidelines, don't find a clear opportunity to initiate, they'll just chip at the enemy team as Sniper pokes away at them with a couple of assassinates here or there.
Yeah, you really need the Vengeful Spirit in these fights. The swap has been invaluable, and hell, just the Wave of Terror. It's been flying through a couple of heroes, and it's been doing its job. Lightning Bolt from the side, so they're just going to make the jump in. They want to Babushka down, and they will bring the Sniper down very quickly. No Culling Blade, actually. Why did they use the Culling Blade? I have no idea. Nimranos going to play the cogs, not do too much, as the Epicenter also doesn't do that much. Arise has finally arrived, can get right on top of that Sniper, but losing a lot of her HP in the process. But with the Maledict, Phantom Assassin will be going down. Axe off to the side, looks like he'll be making it out alive. They're going to reinitiate onto Zizou. He is still here. Another pipe burst, though, is going to keep the Sand King safe for a little while longer, but no one's really here to do damage to the Viper. He's going to kill off everyone unless the Phantom Assassin returns, and she is still dead. So it's going to be overall an even fight, but man, I can't believe the Sniper actually lived through that. I don't know why the Axe didn't just chop his head off.
Yeah, they eventually get that kill with the Culling Blade, but it takes them a little bit longer than they probably would have liked to, and ends up costing the life of the Phantom Assassin too at the end of all of that, and it's very unfortunate for them, although all things considered a decently even fight, although the advantage is definitely inside of BeneD +5, getting a lot more experience, especially on the Clockwork and the Viper, and mopping up a tier 2 tower.
And they take that tower really easily as well, so it's, again, an awkward fight. They're going to try to go for the Sand King with the Queen of Pain will. She has a Sonic Wave and Screams of Pain. Will dump everything. Battle Hunger, not gonna do it, I don't think. That's a lot of dot, but the Fountain is gonna heal him up just enough, and the Sand King will survive. That was pretty close, but, you know, Sand King gets to live, so close doesn't actually mean anything. This Queen of Pain is still pretty darn useful, but, oh man, at the end of Thunder of God's Wrath a couple seconds earlier, that could have been the kill.
Yeah. Definitely would have been. There's just a couple little factors that didn't line up rightly for XPC. If Axe was a little bit closer, if Zeus had his cooldown ready, would have been pretty straightforward. We have a 4-staff pickup by the Clockwork, but outside of that, nothing huge picked up by BeneD +5. Outside of that, Scotty and the Pipe, I think, were the two most recent pickups for them. We're, again, going to go into a state of the game where things slow down, at least for a little bit. But it kind of feels like XPC are going to be the ones to make the next move. But I think more than anything, we're waiting for the next Roshan, which has the potential to be up in about a minute.
And by the time Roshan is up, I think XPC are going to be looking at Assault Cuirass for a Rise. It might be up by then, depending on how well he farms for the next couple of minutes. For BeneD +5, BKB on the Sand King is going to be the next realistic item, but that's a really far distance away, and same thing for the Sniper. So XPC should have another item before this Roshan is going to come up, and hey, look, they actually do have the Assault Cuirass completed already. Don't know where she found that gold, but Phantom Assassin's going to buy that one anyway. They're going to try to go for the Zeus down towards bottom, but man, XPC they're completely ready to fight. With the exception being their Queen of Pain is once again nowhere near this area. and she doesn't have that much mana, even if she were.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Queen of Pain is going to be extremely useful if they decide to fight now, so I think they'll decide against it. Probably going to just shove out this wave and then TP back to base.
Yeah, but you don't really want to TP with everyone. You kind of want to walk up there. At the same time, your tower's dying, so you need to TP. If anyone TPs in, then XPC take that as a full-on green light to go into the Roshan pit. And, well, they're actually going to send a whole bunch of heroes up to the top lane tower. Are they going to make this tower trade for Roshan? Usually, I would say that's fine, but this is the first cheese Roshan, so you're giving up a lot more.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Right now, they do take that tier 2 tower. Maybe they just go high ground right now. It is all 5 people from BeneD +5 to go for this Roshan, and their Rosh is definitely not as fast as XPC, so TP back with the Sand King first, but their 2-3 tower is already down to half health and might end up falling.
Well, Sniper and the Viper, they're still in that pit. In the meantime, Zeus and Clockwork just going at it. This is the time for XPC to just go all in onto this tower. They don't know who has teleported back, though. They don't know that still there are 2 heroes in the Roshan pit, so they're going to back off, and it's going to end up being the wrong decision. Aegis on the floor. Cheese is going to be sitting there for a little while longer. I wonder if anyone... Okay, they have the courier coming in, so they will claim that one, but they end up losing their Zeus. They get the tower, but they don't even take the tier 3 up towards top lane. I don't know if that was the right play for XPC. They could have kept going. I think if they keep going, it's the right play. Otherwise, it's just kind of a half measure that didn't work out.
Yeah, well, in the end, we'll have to see what BeneD +5 get out of this Aegis. It should be pretty crucial for them. Tabushka looks like he's heading towards a BKB, and, well, maybe it's not going to do that much, since the sniper still isn't hitting very hard.
Yeah, man. He will have that eventually. He really needs just, like, a Demon Edge item, or a Butterfly. That'll be just all of his problems solved, or most of his problems solved. But whatever he gets, the Phantom Assassin's going to be one step ahead, just because she has 6,000 more net worth, and they're not really farming, too fast, either of them. So they're going to be relatively even. Maybe they get something done with this Aegis and Cheese. Who actually has the Cheese? Does anyone have the Cheese? Is the Cheese still... Okay, the Cheese is still on the courier, so they have an Aegis. Maybe they want to take a tier 2 tower with this?
Yeah, I mean, right now, it doesn't really feel like they're going to be able to do very much super substantial with it, unless the fight actually breaks out. And for now, both teams are just content to farm inside their own jungle. Although the Dire have decent vision deep inside the enemy woods, they're really in no position to actually make anything of it.
Yeah, if you try to jump like the Phantom Assassin and Axe, yeah, you probably kill them off, but it won't be for free. They're going to put up a hell of a fight before they go down, so BeneD +5, they should be looking for some sort of play right now, and with an MKB completed on the Viper, maybe it's actually time to go ahead and make that play. They have the Cheese now on their Viper as well, so this Viper, now he demands focus, and he's still really, really hard to kill, so though XPC, they really want to go for the Viper, they probably have to go for the Viper. They want to go for the Sniper, but they have to go for the Viper just a little bit more. Man, these rhyming names are killing me.
Yeah, well, for now, it looks like we're going to have a group up. Yet another double damage rune going to spawn down towards bottom, and maybe this is the edge that either team needs to really tip the scales in their favor. Looks like BeneD +5 are going to secure it for their side, and we'll have to see who they give it to. I think Viper's a pretty good candidate, and they'll indeed give it to him.
And he's going to be hitting so hard. Just with a little bit of Nether Toxin, he's looking at like 400 damage a pop, and that is very, very easily done. Not to mention, of course, his poison and his mini bashing from the MKB. So, yeah, this Viper is absolutely dishing, especially with that DD. I don't know if they can make this DD do anything since it's already halfway done, but they're going to look to make a fight happen up towards top. XPC, they do not have their Vengeful Spirit, and this might just be XPC losing a hero or two if they can't cleanly disengage. Looks like Zizou is going to be the one in the most trouble. Hookshot should be coming in. There it is, and it will connect right on the mark. And Morales is going to look to bump him back, but he gets thrown up into the air first. Burst Strike is there, though, and Zeus has no help, so they will kill off one. And it looks like everyone else is going to be fine.
Yep, again, it's going to be the Zeus picked off. The double damage rune has subsided on the Viper, but BeneD +5 have found themselves up towards top, and there's a tier 2 tower to take here. And looks like they'll continue on with that path and probably won't be stopped by XPC. They're 50 seconds down their Zeus.
Alright, so without this Zeus, it is still possible for XPC to fight. I would say Zeus is probably the least needed hero for XPC, but BeneD +5, by the time they actually get to the tier 3, the Zeus will be up. Like, the XPC are fine with losing this tier 2, especially if they can make a trade, which might be possible with both bottom lane and mid lane pushing in.
Yeah, Back's going to be handling the push in mid. Phantom Assassin down towards bottom. Their 2-2 tower up towards top is already going to fall, but as you've already mentioned, it's a very unimportant tower for XPC to actually hold. It doesn't really give them control of anything, really. And with a ward already behind their tier 2 tower, the vision that they've lost from that tier 2 has pretty much been made up for.
And they take bottom tier 2, which is a lot more important for the Dire than the top tier 2 is for the Radiant. And look at that, Zeus will be up soon enough. Gonna get a little bit of chip damage onto this tier 3, but outside of that, Tabushka's got to be a little bit careful. The Phantom Assassin still actually isn't teleporting back, so are they going to sacrifice the tier 3 tower here? That seems like a little bit much. Tabushka's going to drop very low, but he's going to catch Zeus with an Eye of Scotty hit, and that isn't going to be an outright kill, but with Assassinate, it's going to drop the Zeus really, really low. They are actually just trading towers right now. They're going to lose their tier 3 first. XPC now looking to make a jump in. No. Arise wants to base trade, and, well, it will be an even trade after all, so maybe that's actually pretty good for XPC. Assuming they don't lose anyone else, they're going to blink, call, catch the Murano, Sonic Wave through as well, Clockwork going to lose his head. Robert is going to start channeling his Epicenter, but will cancel it because he knows that if he fully channels, he will just die afterwards. Key in a little bit of trouble right now. Viper right on top of the screen. Going to swap out from Razevan. Going to keep him safe for now. Synergy, though, being chased down. Arise finally arriving to this fight. Who's he going to go for? Looks like no one just yet. He will decide to go for the Viper. Needs a couple more crits, but the cheese is there for the Viper. And suddenly Arise, his damage output drops almost to 0. With the Sniper and Viper both firing. Axe is going to return. Get the call onto 2. Looks like TDS will be going down. Arise still alive for a little while longer. He's still surviving with the lifesteal. 40 HP. He's going to finally go down, but Synergy has another call target. There it is. Now onto Mackie they go. They'll kill off the last, or one of the last heroes for BeneD +5, and XPC, they have to use a buyback on a couple of their heroes. The Axe and the Clockwork are the ones to buy back in this game, but ultimately the bottom Raxes were taken, so XPC come out wildly ahead.
Yeah, definitely so. Honestly, that probably shouldn't have gone as well as it did for them. That Phantom Assassin surviving a lot longer than she probably should have, much thanks to the Axe and the lifesteal coming out from Helm of the Dominator. Didn't get that many crits, but more than enough, and Queen of Pain constantly throughout that fight throwing out a heap of damage into the enemy team. BeneD +5, it really feels like they're losing grip on this game. Through the most part, they've been able to, at the very least, hold their own and maybe trade evenly through these fights, but it looks like XPC are getting close to breaking their back.
Yeah, and that buyback from the Axe was just so crucial. Landing the call onto 2 like that, bailing out the Phantom Assassin for just a little while longer, that really set up for that victory down the line from XPC. Of course, the bottom lane Rax is an extra prize, so they don't have to make anything happen right now while the Viper and Sniper are still dead, but man, they have Queen of Pain now packing an MKB of her own. Her man fight potential isn't quite as high as the Viper's, but it is getting there. And the Phantom Assassin is working on her Satanic, so BeneD +5, they don't take any real substantial structures, and now they don't have their cheese any longer. They also don't have an Aegis to fall back on, not for a little while longer, so it's going to be a couple of minutes where XPC have complete, utter control of the game, and BeneD +5 will be purely reactive.
Yeah, not a situation that they want to be in, especially with the Clockwork and the Sand King at their disposal. You really just haven't been able to do that much. In the last fight especially, you have a Witch Doctor Death Ward that's channeled for a split second, an Epicenter that's cancelled. Without those spells, BeneD +5's damage output is severely gimped.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard for BeneD +5 if XPC decide to play it really quickly right now. If this Roshan timer is minimal, then BeneD +5 are going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble, but right now they're just crossing their fingers for a long respawn. If it is longer, then they have a little bit more time to get the Sniper an additional item. He has a Mjolnir now, which is going to be nice, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, right now it really feels like he does need an MKV or a Daedalus. I'm not sure which you go here. I'm kind of leaning towards Daedalus just to kill the heroes other than Phantom Assassin first. But who knows? Honestly, it just feels like Tabushka needs to hit harder.
And grab a Demon Edge and decide later, right? You need one of those items eventually, but oh dear, this is really bad for BeneD +5. There's a double damage rune on the floor, and there's a 40-second Roshan respawn. Like, I actually don't know if that could get any worse for BeneD +5. Well, it could get a little bit worse if the Phantom Assassin grabbed the DD. That would be worse.
Yeah, honestly, not sure why Zizu snagged that. Maybe they expected BeneD +5 to be sitting on top of that, smoked inside the Roche pit, ready to jump? I don't know, that would have been really awkward. I'm not sure how many they actually saw during that time.
I mean, they saw Tabushka up on top, I think. Everyone else was just in the mid lane, sitting awkwardly. We got a smoke up from BeneD +5, and they might run into the Queen of Pain. but she has so much gold for buyback and then some. So even killing her off won't really open the door. And it looks like they will be unsuccessful in their smoke. I don't. Oh well, maybe Queen of Pain is going to head right back into them. But again, killing off Queen of Pain is not really a huge deal. Key is going to blink really far into the trees, and looks like BeneD +5 didn't get vision from that rocket flare. So yeah, it's an unsuccessful smoke, and all the while it's just XPC farming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right idea for sure, but you're now going to be sitting on a Queen of Pain that's going to have either Cheese or Aegis, and Phantom Assassin with the other one. Honestly, not too sure if it matters who gets what. Both of these heroes are absolutely dishing.
Yeah, maybe Cheese is better for the Phantom Assassin, since... Okay, never mind. We got Cheese on the Axe and Aegis on Arise. I was about to say, like, with the Satanic and the survivability the Phantom Assassin has, you can usually drop fairly low, fairly comfortably, and then cheese up back to full. But it looks like they're just going to, give the Phantom Assassin that Aegis, take no chances, and then go for a straight push. BeneD +5, they have everything that they could possibly want to defend this, but will it be enough? Their clearing is insane, though, with the Mjolnir plus Shrapnel, so it will be tough for XPC to make a straight-up push happen unless they wrap around and catch someone right now. Swap out onto Nimeranos. Not there yet. Swap and the call in from Synergy. Both him and Razevan awkwardly stuck in the middle, but Arise is going to jump onto Robert off to the side, and Nimeranos is going to be brought down by Key in the meantime. Death Ward being channeled, which is doing a lot of damage to Synergy, but no one else. Synergy not even dying from it. Will cheese up back to full. Now they're going to go straight for the Sniper. He's going to lose his life soon. Epicenter finally comes through. Might kill off Synergy. He's still alive for a little while longer. Arise, crucially alive as well. Going to lose his Aegis right now. He doesn't have any more backup. It did cost BeneD +5 a hell of a lot of buybacks. Arise has a Phantom Strike out. Burrow Strike going to keep him in place for a little while longer. I think it might be time to man-fight Arise. He's going to blink away. Still the Maledict, though, is going to do a hell of a lot of damage. Zizu looking to give his life so that the PA may live. And it looks like he might be successful, but the Sand King is just so relentless. Burrow Strike not going to connect, and Arise is going to live. Keanu's going to live as well. That fight could have definitely gotten a lot worse for really both sides, but BeneD +5 do have to use a lot of buybacks to defend.
In the end, they do defend, and they don't have to buy back on the Sniper, but still feels like he's miles away from in that next major item. I think the status quo really hasn't changed, however. Really nice positioning coming out from XPC, ensuring that Phantom Assassin is able to escape. Even the Queen of Pain, who is on like 200 HP, just making sure that she has a blink tether to actually get out of there. So Rise is going to survive and now sitting on almost 5k gold towards that next major item, probably Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy pickup from... I mean, he already has it if he wants it, and there's nothing on the courier. So yeah, Abyssal Blade looking pretty good for Arise, and BeneD +5, they finally get their Epicenter off. They get a pretty decent Witch Doctor ultimate off as well. Problem being is that they don't really have any amplification for these two skills, so even if they are going to land, they're not really going to be doing enough, especially if they land primarily on the Axe, who has like 1,000,000 armor. So they need an Aghanim Scepter or Veil for the Sand King or something like that if they want these ultimates to really be doing something. But at this point, it might even be a little bit too late for that to be doing anything at all. So XPC, they're still in full control of the game right now. They don't have the Cheese or Aegis any longer, but one Axe comes up, they can look for another fight, given BeneD +5 are down so many buybacks now.
Well, the item choice for Keanu looks like it's going to be a Satanic for the Queen of Pain. I think pretty much rightfully so. I think it's probably the best way the Queen of Pain can keep herself alive inside these fights.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. The only problem I see is that, yeah, she's hitting very hard, but she's not doing that much damage. What is Nimeranos doing here? He's going to get into the mid lane and then die instantly? No, he's still going to survive. Zizu, though, will kill him off. Why are you there? They're going to blink forward, catch the Witch Doctor with Hex as well. Blink forward for a Sonic Wave. That's going to be another kill. And they're going to blink forward for a little bit more. Keanu going to force the BKB out to Bushka. At the same time, taking very little damage from the Sniper because, well, he's just not doing that much. And yeah, did BeneD +5 just throw this game away because they got caught out of position in mid?
I really did not expect that to actually happen. Clockwork way out in front. You have a Butterfly now on your Viper, and I suppose that's kind of nice. But right now XPC are primed to go for pretty much the death push. That's a minute down with no Witch Doctor, no Clockwork. Clockwork having previously bought back and not having any gold income, really much at all to speak of, is not going to be available. They'll open up the Burrow Strike onto Arise, but now the call onto two. Tabushka is now in the middle of the fray after the swap back into the Queen of Pain Sonic Wave, but the Sand King and the Queen of Pain, or rather, and the Sniper are going to bite the dust. Keanu now fighting up against TDS. Abyssal down to the ground. Viper is in all heap of trouble. Called in to Synergy. Now they look towards the Sniper. Tabushka going to lose his life. Ultra kill for Arise, and that's pretty much a nail in the coffin. GG called out by BeneD +5.
I don't know if the pick off of the Clockwork and Witch Doctor really helped or really hurt BeneD+5 that much. Maybe the fight could have gone a little bit better if they had a couple more heroes up, but that initiation was so convincing. You catch the Sand King with a call as soon as he burrow strikes in, which I honestly don't know why he did that, and then you swap the sniper right back into said call. Pretty much doesn't get any better than that for XPC, but still, like, you probably can't afford to be making those mistakes if you're the Witch Doctor and the Clockwork. Being caught in the middle of nowhere 55 minutes in without buyback is a death sentence for your team.
Well, XPC eking ahead inside game number 1. We'll have to see if they'll be able to ride this momentum through game number 2 and make it to, hopefully for the JDL standings they will. Maybe it'll just be another 1-1. Either way, we'll find out very shortly. Coming up soon.